What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So America's working poor are the real concern according to multiple experts, and the reason might be shocking because what we know is 64% of Americans are considered the working poor, or in other words, they live paycheck to paycheck. Now, about 40% of individuals that are making more than $100,000 per year live paycheck to paycheck, and roughly 60% of millennials earning over $100,000 per year live paycheck to paycheck as well. That is a real concern. And one thing you need to understand is if right now you make less than $100,000 per year, you're probably thinking, how in the world can somebody making six figures per year be living paycheck to paycheck? Or what do these people even do with their money? And that's the issue. And the truth is this, is that as people start to make more money, they tend to spend more. Their expenses increase. Their lifestyle changes as their income grows. And it's a real issue. And whether you agree with this or not, the reality of the situation is that the higher income earners tend to have just as many money problems as those with lower wages. And this is a real issue, and I think a lot of people completely misunderstand why this happens. But here's what I can tell you. Right now, economists are worried that the working poor, right? People that live paycheck to paycheck but are working, that these are the people that are going to struggle, and these are the people that are causing a concern for our economy. And to make matters worse, okay, just give you an idea, about 80% of millennials believe that it is perfectly acceptable to leave a position after just 6 months if the search is for a higher salary. And just recently, in a response to the Great Resignation, about 70% of people regret leaving their previous positions. And this is what is very interesting about this, and this is one of the things I brought up multiple times, is that when employment experts have said recently that, and again, this is something that's been touched on for some time, is that people will regret leaving their positions for leaving their long-term positions for a short-term position in the sake of a higher salary, mainly because that they don't know what to expect. And now many of these people are leaving their new positions and taking a wage cut just to go back in the industry or job that they previously had. And that's a huge concern as well. And this is something that many people have brought up, is this is turning into the real crisis, because what we're seeing is wages effectively change. Again, it's a major concern, and a lot of people don't understand what it's going to cause in the future. But I want to touch on something else, because now financial experts are telling us that our old way of thinking isn't working. We can't spend the money that we have because we have it. We have to save more of it. And the old way of thinking of save 10% of your income, put that into savings and you will be just fine, well, that worked possibly in the 70s and 80s. That will not work today, because now what experts are telling us is we should have at least 20% of our income, okay, go towards savings. The other 80% should be broken into different categories, like 50% for essentials and the remaining 30% for wants or discretionary spending. Now that's key, because how do we really balance this out? And what does this mean for America's working poor? And why are they the real concern, or why is this a major crisis? Well, here's what we know according to multiple sources. Right now, inflation against American spending has increased our budgets by about $300 per month. The expectation is that will actually continue for some time. Now you're probably thinking, well, $300 a month isn't a huge deal. Well, it is if you only make, let's say, $3,000 per month. That's 10%. So the money that you were setting aside for savings is gone, right? That's 10% of your income, and that's a substantial chunk. And now this isn't like financial advice or anything, but many experts are telling us we have to get our finances in order. And with the American people working paycheck to paycheck, they don't have the ability to save 20% of their total income. And let's say inflation goes up to 8%, which is just 0.1% away, or 9% or 10%. Every additional increase reduces the amount of discretionary spending that you have, right? And this is the issue, and this is why some are saying that the working poor are the real concern because of, well, there's many issues. But according to White House officials, Americans are more likely to spend money on things like rent and mortgage first, then utilities. Then they go into things like car payments and phone bills. Again, phone bills are up there before something like food. Now, food and other bills, Netflix, Hulu, gym membership, retail spending, clothing, right? Entertainment, those are kind of at the end. But again, this is the concern is when people put food at the end, behind a car payment or a phone bill, that is concerning because we need food to live. We need nutrition to just survive. But the worry is that too many people are seeing their budgets squeezed due to rising prices, and because of this, they're less likely to spend within the economy, which could ultimately push us closer to a recession. That's the real concern. But keep this in mind, that even though you may have a job and you feel safe and secure and you got that guaranteed income, this doesn't mean you're safe from the risks of a potential recession or even the aftermath of what is going on across the world. And this is why I want to bring this up, and this is why I'm so adamant about pushing some of these topics, is because so many people don't realize what would happen if we stop spending, if interest rates increase too much too quickly, if the stock market crashes. Because guess what? People on fixed incomes rely on the stock market, rely on their portfolios to pay them a certain dividend every single month so that they continue to live. Well, guess what? If this doesn't happen and we see people on Social Security and fixed incomes need assistance and the government steps in, we could go into a deeper deficit. Everyone else could be paying higher taxes in the future. We could see stimulus and other proposals from Congress completely get wiped out because we have to provide for a certain group of people. And again, that's what we do, is we bail out certain people. Now, I'm not saying a bailout is technically the right word, because this is something that isn't caused by the American people in most cases, right? So that's the issue there. Is the real concern is the working poor, or people working paycheck to paycheck, because they don't have any savings and they have no cushion. All right. So let me know down in the comment section below. Do you have savings set aside for this specific situation where we may go into a recession? We may not be able to dip into our retirement funds, or really our portfolios, or real estate equity to just propel us through the next few months or few years. Let me know if you have any savings. Hey, do you have a plan in place? Again, you don't got to tell me how much money you have. You don't even have to tell me you have money. But the more important thing is, do you have a plan in place that would get you through a potential 1 month to 6 months worth of a recession? Because most people don't, and they're actually far from it. So, as always, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that you never miss an update on what is coming or what to expect moving forward. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.